The rain began as a whisper against the windowpane, then quickly escalated into a furious drumming. It matched the rhythm of the sadness thrumming in Lily's chest. Outside, the world was a blurry wash of gray, mirroring how she felt inside. 9 years old, and sometimes it felt like she was the only one who noticed the quiet spaces, the empty chairs, the silence that stretched on and on. Her house wasn't empty, not exactly. Her mom was a doctor, always on call, always needed. Her dad worked late, building important things with numbers and computers. They loved her, she knew, but their love came in quick hugs and hurried goodnights, a half-eaten plate of cookies left on her desk, a promise to play soon. The soon always seemed to get lost in the shuffle of grown-up things. Lily wandered into her small bedroom, the only space that truly felt like hers. It wasn't particularly fancy, just walls painted a soft lavender and a window overlooking the garden, now being lashed by the storm. But it held her treasures, stacks of books with worn covers, a small collection of smooth gray stones she'd gathered from the beach, and most importantly, her art supplies. She opened her sketchbook, its pages already filled with fantastical creatures and impossible landscapes. It was a world she built with colors and lines, a place where she could be anyone, go anywhere. Today, though, the usual spark felt dim. She flipped through the pages, pausing at a drawing of a soaring purple dragon. Even he looked lonely. "I wish," she murmured, her breath fogging the paper. "I wish I had a friend to share this with." The wish felt heavy, like a stone sinking in her stomach. She grabbed a fresh sheet of paper and a handful of crayons. Without really thinking, her hand started to move, sketching the outline of a girl. A girl with bright, hopeful eyes and a cheerful smile. A girl wearing a vibrant yellow raincoat, the kind that shouted happiness even on the dreariest of days. As she colored, Lily poured all her loneliness, all her longing, into the artwork. The yellow of the raincoat seemed to glow on the page, a beacon in the gray. She added bright red boots, splashing through imaginary puddles. She carefully shaded the girl's face, giving her a playful tilt of the head. It wasn't just a drawing, it was a hope. A silent plea for companionship. A frien born from the stormen the key corner of her hat. She titled it, in careful, looping letters, Sunshine Girl. Closing her sketchbook, Lily felt a tiny flicker of warmth bloom within her, a fragile promise amidst the thunder. Lily woke with a start. The storm had passed, leaving behind a world washed clean and sparkling with sunlight. But something was different. A strange emptiness tugged at her, a feeling of something missing. Then she remembered. Sunshine Girl. She scrambled out of bed and raced to her desk, her heart pounding. The sketchbook was there, open to the page with the vibrant yellow raincoat. But the drawing, it was gone. Vanished. Lily's breath hitched. Had she imagined it? Had the longing been so strong she'd simply dreamed the whole thing? Maybe I took it downstairs, she mumbled, already heading for the door. She searched the living room, the kitchen, even the hallway, but Sunshine Girl was nowhere to be found. A growing sense of bewilderment replaced her initial panic. Then, she saw it. A flash of yellow in the garden. Hesitantly, she pushed open the back door and stepped outside. And there, splashing in a puddle left by the storm, was a girl. A real girl. Wearing a bright yellow raincoat and matching red boots. The same raincoat and boots from her painting. Lily froze, her jaw dropping. It was like looking into a mirror, but a mirror that reflected a dream. The girl turned, her face alight with a joyful grin. She had bright, curious eyes that sparkled like the raindrops clinging to the leaves. "Hello," the girl said, her voice like the chime of little bells. "It's wonderful to finally meet you." Lily could only stammer, who are you?" "I'm Lumi," the girl replied, skipping closer. "And you must be Lily. I've been waiting to play." Before Lily could utter another confused question, Lumi grabbed her hand and pulled her towards a patch of wildflowers. "Let's see how high we can jump over these." Lily, still reeling, found herself laughing as she and Lumi leaped and twirled among the blossoms. The initial shock began to give way to a bubbling sense of joy. It felt magical. Barnaby, the family's scruffy terrier, wandered into the garden, tail wagging tentatively. He approached Lumi, sniffing cautiously. But instead of the enthusiastic greeting he usually reserved for visitors, he circled her slowly, a low growl rumbling in his chest. He sniffed again, then backed away, tilting his head as if utterly perplexed. It wasn't an aggressive growl, more like confusion.
Barnaby, Binis.
Lily scolded gently, but she couldn't shake the feeling that the dog sensed something unusual about Lumi. Later, as they sat beneath the apple tree, Lumi admired the garden. "Everything feels so new," she said, her eyes wide with wonder. "So real. Do you like to draw?" Lily asked, remembering her sketchbook. "I have lots of crayons and paper."
We could make picture together.
Lumi blinked, a puzzled expression crossing her face. "Draw?
What is that?"
Lily was taken aback. You don't know how to draw?"
Lumi shook her head, her bright yellow rein cocoa swishing.
"I don't need to make things. I just want to experience them."
Feel the sunshine, smell the flowers, jump in puddle.
"That's much more fun." She giggled, and Lily couldn't help but smile back. It was a strange thought, but somehow with Lumi, it made perfect sense. The days that followed were a whirlwind of laughter and discovery. Lily tried to share everything she loved with Lumi, building a magnificent fort in the living room with blankets and pillows, hosting a tea party with Barnaby as the guest of honor, who still regarded Lumi with suspicion, even attempting to teach her how to ride her bicycle. But things were off. The fort, while impressive to Lily, seemed to fascinate Lumi not for its structure, but for the way the sunlight filtered through the blankets, creating dancing shadows. "It's like being inside a rainbow," Shed exclaimed, completely missing the point of having a secret hideaway. The tea party ended abruptly when Lumi politely declined the cookies, stating she didn't feel hungry in the way flowers do for sunshine. And the bicycle? She'd watched Lily pedal, a look of pure wonder on her face, but when offered a turn, she'd simply said, "Why go around the garden when you can feel it all at once?" Lily's mother, noticing her daughter's newfound happiness, beamed. "You're really blossoming, sweetie," she said one evening, smoothing Lily's hair. "It's lovely to see you playing so nicely. It's good to have such a vivid imagination." Lily's father echoed the sentiment, chuckling. "She's got a whole world inside that head of hers. Just like her mother." They didn't seem to notice, or perhaps chose not to, how real Lumi felt. It wasn't just the strange disconnect during games. Lily began to notice other oddities. Lumi never seemed to sleep. Lily would wake up in the middle of the night and find Lumi sitting by the window, gazing at the stars, her yellow raincoat glowing faintly in the darkness. And she never ate. Lily's mom had prepared little snacks, sandwiches, even her favorite strawberry yogurt, but Lumi would always politely refuse, saying she didn't need them. One afternoon, while they were lying in the grass, watching clouds drift by, Lily finally voiced her observations. "Lumi," she began hesitantly, "you're different." Lumi tilted her head, her bright eyes meeting Lily's. "Different how?" "Well, you don't sleep and you don't eat, and sometimes when the sun shines just right, you kind of shimmer." Lumi giggled, a sound like wind chimes. "Oh, that." She paused, then pointed towards the clouds. "Everything is made of something, Lily. You are made of sunshine and stories and laughter. I am made of, well, of the world of painted dreams." "The world of painted dreams?" Lily repeated, intrigued. Lumi's voice dropped to a whisper. "It's a place where everything is born from imagination. Every color, every story, every friend, it all comes from there. It's where all the things people dream up live." She looked wistful. "It's a beautiful place, Lily, but it needs belief to stay strong." "What do you mean?" "When people stop dreaming, when they stop creating, the world of painted dreams begins to fade. And when it fades, so do we who live there." Lumi's voice was barely audible, and for the first time, Lily saw a flicker of sadness in her bright eyes. "It's a little like a painting, Lily. If nobody looks at it, if nobody remembers it, the colors start to run." The next morning, Lily raced to the backyard, eager to continue their adventures. But something was wrong. Lumi was standing by the rose bushes, but her yellow raincoat wasn't as bright. It was a shade duller, like a crayon left out in the sun. Her voice, when she greeted Lily, was quieter too, a gentle chime instead of a joyful ring. "Lumi? Are you okay?" Lily asked, her heart beginning to pound. Lumi forced a smile, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Just a little tired perhaps. The world of painted dreams, it had a restless night. Lily didn't understand, but a growing dread coiled in her stomach. Throughout the day, Lumi continued to fade. Her laughter lost its sparkle, her movements became slower, and her skin seemed to become almost translucent, like looking through frosted glass. It was as if someone was slowly turning down the volume on her existence. Desperate, Lily grabbed her sketchbook and pencils. "I'll draw you," she exclaimed, hoping to capture Lumi's essence, to somehow hold on to her. She sketched furiously, trying to replicate the vibrant girl she knew. But the drawings were wrong. The lines were blurry, the colors washed out, and Lumi's face looked incomplete, as if a vital part of her was missing. Each attempt only seemed to emphasize Lumi's growing fragility. "It's no use," Lily sighed, dropping her pencil. "I can't seem to get it right." Lumi sat beside her, her hand, cool and almost ethereal, resting on Lily's arm. "It's not your fault, Lily. It's not about getting it right. It's about remembering. About believing." Remembering what? The world of painted dreams. It exists on belief, on imagination. When people stop dreaming, stop creating, it weakens. And I am a part of that world. The more people forget how to dream, the more I fade. Lumi's voice was now a whisper, barely audible above the rustling leaves. Lily looked around the backyard, and a shiver ran down her spine. The vibrant colors seemed muted. The red of the roses was less intense, the green of the grass less lush. Even Barnaby, basking in the sun, seemed a little less fluffy, his fur a shade paler. A creeping sense of unease settled over her. "Is that why everything looks a little faded?" she asked, her voice trembling. Lumi nodded sadly. "The fading here, it's a reflection of what's happening there. The world of painted dreams is losing its color, its light. And as it does, so do I." She looked at Lily with pleading eyes. "You have a wonderful imagination, Lily. You brought me here. You have to keep imagining me, keep believing in me, or I'll disappear completely." Lily's eyes filled with tears. The thought of losing Lumi, of this magical, wondrous friend vanishing like a dream, was unbearable. I don't want you to go," she choked out. "Then you must remember to dream, Lily," Lumi said softly. "Not just for me, but for all the stories waiting to be told, for all the colors waiting to be painted. The world needs imagination, Lily. It needs it to survive." Lumi reached for Lily's hand, her touch sending a tingling warmth through Lily's arm. "Hold on tight," she whispered, her eyes sparkling with an otherworldly light. "I want to show you where I come from." The backyard blurred, the familiar scent of roses and cut grass dissolving into something sweeter, like freshly mixed paints and stardust. Lily squeezed her eyes shut, a dizzying sensation swirling around her. When she opened them, she gasped. They weren't in her backyard anymore. Before her stretched a landscape unlike anything she had ever imagined. The sky was a swirling canvas of lavender and gold, dotted with clouds shaped like fantastical creatures. Trees with leaves of shimmering silver grew alongside rivers of liquid light. But beneath the breathtaking beauty lay a profound sadness. The colors, though vibrant, seemed thin, as if a layer of dust had settled over everything. Parts of the landscape were simply missing, patches of gray where vibrant forests should have been, empty spaces where majestic mountains once stood. "Welcome to the world of painted dreams," Lumi said, her voice echoing slightly in the vastness. "It's made of every story ever imagined, every song ever sung, every picture ever painted." Lily walked forward, her feet sinking into a ground that felt like soft velvet. They passed a towering castle, magnificent in design, but unfinished. Stone blocks hung suspended in midair, and scaffolding clung to the walls like skeletal fingers. "What happened here?" Lily asked, her voice hushed with awe and sorrow. "It was a king's dream," Lumi explained, "a story someone started to tell, but then forgot. When the imagining stops, the creation fades." Further on, they encountered a small rusty robot, sitting alone on a hill overlooking a desolate plain. Its gears whirred softly, a mournful sound. "Hello," Lily called out hesitantly. The robot's head swiveled, its single eye blinking slowly. "Greetings," it creaked. "I was a companion, a friend. But my creator grew up, lost interest. Now I just remember being needed. Lily's heart ached. She understood now. This world wasn't just beautiful, it was fragile. It relied on the constant fuel of imagination, and when that fuel dwindled, things began to disappear. They walked on, and soon, a melody drifted towards them, carried on the gentle breeze. It was a beautiful tune, but incomplete. Notes were missing, verses unfinished. That's a song, Lumi said sadly. A lullaby a mother used to sing to her child. But the mother stopped singing it, and now, it's losing its voice. Lily felt a lump forming in her throat. Everywhere she looked, she saw remnants of forgotten dreams, of stories abandoned, of imaginations left to wither. It was a breathtakingly beautiful place, but also profoundly lonely. It's so sad, Lily whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. How can we fix it? Lumi looked at her, her expression a mix of hope and desperation. You can, Lily. You can. By remembering, by creating, by sharing your imagination with the world. Every time someone dreams, every time someone paints or writes or sings, this world grows stronger. But when they forget how to dream, well, you've seen what happens. The journey was short, but it felt like a lifetime. As Lumi prepared to bring her back, Lily looked back at the fading landscape, a newfound understanding burning within her. The world of painted dreams wasn't just a magical place, it was a reflection of the human heart, a testament to the power and the responsibility of imagination. Back in Lily's backyard, the swing set seemed duller, the roses less vibrant. The transition had been swift, but the weight of the world of painted dreams settled heavily on Lily's shoulders. Lumi, though still luminous, seemed a shade less bright than before. What did you mean, I can help? Lily asked, her voice barely a whisper. Lumi took Lily's hands, her touch cool and comforting. To stay here, truly stay. I need a constant source of imagination, a tether to this world. And that tether is you. Lily's heart leaped with hope, but Lumi's next words extinguished it. But it comes at a cost. The stronger the tether, the more of your own imagination will be diverted. To keep me here, you would have to let go of painting. The world tilted on its axis. Lily stared at Lumi, her mouth agape. Let go of painting? But that's everything to me. It's how I feel, how I think, how I am. Lumi's eyes filled with a sorrow that mirrored Lily's own. I know. It's a terrible choice. I wouldn't ask it if there were any other way. But the world of painted dreams, it's fading. And I'm fading with it. To exist fully in your world, I need a constant stream of creative energy. Your painting is that energy. Lily stumbled back, shaking her head. No. There has to be another way. She ran towards her small art shed, the door creaking open with a mournful groan. Inside, her paints, brushes, and half-finished canvases usually brought her joy, but now they felt like a cruel reminder of what she might lose. She grabbed a brush, dipped it in crimson, and tried to paint a sunflower, a subject she'd painted 100 times before. But her hand trembled. The color felt flat, lifeless. The petals wouldn't take shape. She tried again and again, each attempt worse than the last. The canvas remained a chaotic mess of red and green. Tears streamed down her face, blurring her vision. It wasn't just the inability to paint, it was the feeling of something vital being ripped away from her soul. I can't, she choked out, dropping the brush onto the paint-splattered table. Later that evening, Lily sat at the dinner table, picking at her food. Her parents exchanged worried glances. Honey, are you all right? Her mother asked gently. You haven't touched your dinner. Lily shrugged, unable to articulate the turmoil inside. Just not hungry. You've been awfully quiet all day, her father added. Is something bothering you at school?
No, Lily mumbled.
How could she explain Lumi, the world of painted dreams, the impossible choice she faced? They wouldn't understand. They'd tell her it was just a phase, an overactive imagination. Maybe you should try a new hobby, her mother suggested brightly. Volleyball tryouts are next week, or perhaps you'd like to join the drama club? The suggestion felt like a punch to the gut. It wasn't about finding a replacement for painting, it was about losing a part of herself. I don't want to, Lily said, her voice sharper than she intended. Lily, don't be rude, her father said, a hint of disapproval in his tone. We're just trying to help. I know, she whispered, sinking lower in her chair. She wished, more than anything, that they could help, that they could understand the agonizing weight of her decision. But she was alone, caught between a friendship she cherished and the very essence of who she was. The choice felt impossible, a chasm opening up within her, threatening to swallow her whole. The weight of the impossible choice pressed down on Lily all night. Sleep offered little escape, filled with fragmented images of fading colors and a silent, empty canvas. But as the first rays of sunlight peeked through her window, a different thought began to dawn. Lumi didn't need a laugh her imagination, did she? What if she could share it? She raced to the backyard, her heart pounding with a fragile hope. Lumi was sitting on the swing set, looking paler than Lily remembered. Lumi. Lumi turned, a weak smile gracing her lips. Good morning, Lily. Her voice was softer, almost a whisper. I think I figured something out, Lily said, breathless. You said you need imagination, right? Like a constant flow of it? Lumi nodded slowly. What if I didn't just imagine you as you are? What if I imagined us, having adventures, building castles in the clouds, flying on the backs of dragons, exploring underwater kingdoms? Lily's words tumbled out, fueled by a desperate hope. What if I imagined more things, all the time? Lumi's eyes widened, a flicker of color returning to them. You mean, expand the stream? Not just sustain me, but grow the world? Yes. Lily exclaimed. She closed her eyes, focusing all her energy, all her creativity, on a fantastical image, Lumi and her soaring through a star-filled sky on a giant, friendly griffin. She imagined the wind rushing through their hair, the twinkling constellations beneath them. A warmth spread through her, and she opened her eyes to see Lumi glowing, a vibrant yellow returning to her raincoat. It's working. Lumi breathed, her voice gaining strength. It feels wonderful. An idea sparked in Lily's mind. If sharing her imagination helped Lumi, maybe sharing it with others would help even more. Come on, she said, grabbing Lumi's hand. We have to get the others. Lily dashed through the neighborhood, knocking on doors, inviting kids to her backyard. At first, they were hesitant, unsure what to expect. But Lily, radiating an infectious enthusiasm, convinced them to join her. She spread out her art supplies, crayons, paints, colorful paper, and encouraged everyone to simply create. Don't worry about being good, she said, her voice ringing with sincerity. Just let your imagination run wild. Draw anything, paint anything, make anything. What kind of creatures live on the moon? What does a house made of candy look like? There are no wrong answers. Hesitantly at first, the children began to draw. A spaceship landed on a purple planet. A unicorn galloped through a rainbow forest. A robot danced with a flower. As the backyard filled with vibrant colors and fantastical creations, Lily felt a surge of energy, a sense of connection she hadn't known before. Lumi, standing beside her, was practically radiating light, her color fully restored. Even Lily's parents, drawn by the cheerful commotion, came outside. They watched, surprised and touched, as their daughter led the neighborhood children in a whirlwind of creativity. Look at her mother whispered to her father, a soft smile playing on her lips. She's blooming. Her father nodded, his eyes shining with pride. It's amazing what a little imagination can do. He paused, then added, maybe we should dust off that old chessboard. I haven't played in years. Lily's mother chuckled. Maybe we should. As the afternoon wore on, Lily realized something profound. Imagination wasn't a limited resource. It wasn't something you had to hoard or protect. It was like a muscle. The more you used it, the stronger it became. And the more you shared it, the brighter the world became. Looking at Lumi, laughing and playing with the other children, Lily knew she had found a way to save her friend, and in doing so, she had discovered the boundless power of a shared dream. The change wasn't immediate, not a sudden burst of brilliance. It was a gradual awakening, like a garden slowly unfurling after a long winter. Lily first noticed it with the old birdhouse her grandfather had built, the one that had been looking so dull and gray. A vibrant blue began to seep back into the wood, the chipped paint regaining its cheerful hue. Then, the roses on the trellis popped with a richer, deeper red, their petals seeming to glow in the afternoon sun. "Look!" Lily exclaimed, pointing to the dilapidated gnome statue hidden amongst the flower beds. "He's smiling again." Lumi, who had been braiding wildflowers into a crown, giggled. "The painted world is breathing again, Lily."
It feel alive.
The backyard, once subtly muted, was now a riot of color, a testament to the collective imagination of the neighborhood children. The spaceship drawing, initially sketched in pale blues and grays, now shimmered with metallic silver and fiery orange. The unicorn pranced across its rainbow forest with a coat of dazzling white, its mane flowing with every color imaginable. But the most profound change was in Lumi herself. Her raincoat shone with a brilliant, almost blinding yellow, and her boots gleamed. Her laughter, once a delicate chime, now resonated with joyful energy. She moved with a newfound confidence, her form solid and real, no longer flickering at the edges. "I haven't felt this whole in a long time," Lumi said, her voice brimming with gratitude. "Thank you, Lily. You didn't just save me, you saved us all." Inspired, Lily raced into her room and pulled out a fresh canvas. She didn't try to capture Lumi's likeness, not this time. Instead, she began to paint a scene, a swirling vortex of color, a fantastical landscape filled with soaring griffins, underwater kingdoms, and castles in the clouds. She painted Lumi and herself, not standing still, but flying, exploring, experiencing the adventures they had only just begun to imagine. As she painted, she realized this wasn't just a picture, it was a promise. A promise of endless possibilities, of a world built on dreams, of a friendship that would last forever. She mixed the colors with a newfound freedom, no longer fearing the blank canvas, but embracing its potential. Her parents, observing from the doorway, exchanged a knowing smile. "That's a beautiful painting, Lily," her mother said softly. "It's different," her father added. "It feels like it's full of everything." Lily grinned, dipping her brush into a pot of shimmering gold. "It is," she said. "It's full of everything we can imagine." Later, as the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the vibrant backyard, Lily and Lumi sat side by side, watching the other children pack up their art supplies. The air buzzed with the lingering energy of shared creativity. "What do you think our next adventure should be?" Lily asked, leaning her head against Lumi's shoulder. Lumi smiled, her eyes sparkling with mischief.
I've heard whisper of a hidden city made of chocolate.
Lily laughed, her heart overflowing with joy. "Then let's go find it." And as they embarked on their next imaginary journey, Lily knew that their friendship wasn't just a gift. It was a reminder that the most powerful magic in the world wasn't found in spells or potions, but in the boundless depths of the human imagination.